On this video, guys, what we're talking about is January 2022 episode of Imlie series. Don't forget to subscribe in case you haven't, as we jump straight into the video from 1st January. And the highlight of this month is that finally Aryan is entering the series. Don't forget that Aryan is Imlie's real and real lover. Let us put it like that. Just like Anupama and Anuj, Aryan is for Imlie. Sunday's episode 1st January. Malini urges Kunal to support her by not fighting the case on Imlie's behalf. The Tripatis attend the court section after they are summoned by the court. Aditya and the Tripatis are unable to provide any information about their intoxicated state last night. Later, Dulare asks Imlie to think about Malini. Monday's episode, 2nd January, Imlie makes a plan to use Malini's old ploy against her. She pretends to be Malini in front of Anu to learn the truth. However, Aditya gets furious with her method. Fearing a bad reputation to the company due to Aditya's court case, his boss fires him. Elsewhere, Imlie lands in a tough situation in school. Tuesday's episode, 3rd January. Dave urges Imlie to withdraw the case, but she remains adamant. Fraught with rage, Aditya blames Imlie for losing his job and his identity. Aditya learns of her suspension from college and convinces Imlie to start afresh. So while Aditya gets back his job, Kunal reminds Imlie about the lack of proof to fight the case. Wednesday's episode, 4th of January. After Imlie looks for proof, Anu puts forward a condition before the three parties, but it remains unclear if Imlie will accept it. Aditya gets hurt by Malini's act as he watches the video as evidence. Malini faints while informing Dave and Anu about the discovery of the evidence. Thursday's episode, 5th January, the Tripatis loses the case in court as Aditya confesses a brutal truth. So while Malini makes an unexpected confession, Anu gets arrested. Anu makes a deal with her cellmate in order to ruin Imlie's life. Later, two men pretend to be government officials and adopt Imlie from her home. Friday's episode, 6th January, Imlie manages to escape with the other girls but fails to make it clear and gets captured again. Elsewhere, Aditya finds out Imlie's trails and tries to track her. Imlie rescues herself and other girls with the help of the police. She informs Aditya about the Tripatis being in danger, but it remains to be seen if she can save them. Saturday's episode, 7th January, Imlie gets a call and learns that her college suspension is revoked. Meanwhile, Anu instructs Malini to use her pregnancy as an excuse to trap Aditya. So after winning the debate competition, Imlie waits for Aditya to pick her up. Meanwhile, Malini executes her plan to keep Aditya busy. Sunday's episode, 8th January. As Imlie waits for Aditya to pick her up, she faces an unfortunate incident on returning home. Aditya's action further infuriates Imlie after Imlie coerces Malini to find food. The latter asks Anu to get the work done. When Imlie's date is cancelled, she asks the Tripatis to join Anu's invitation. Monday's episode, 9th January, Malini devises a plan to host a puja to spend more time with Aditya. Elsewhere, Anu hires Mitty as her cook, which irks Aditya. Anu freaks out when Imlie plays a prank on her and makes her believe that she is invisible. Later, Malini passes out during the puja. Tuesday's episode, 10th January, as Anu tries to stop Imlie from a date with Aditya, both of them eat funnily together. Meanwhile, Nishan sends Aditya a message to Imlie hidden in a puri. Imlie decides to get proof against Malini as she is careless about her baby. Malini gets furious when Imlie asks her to be vigilant about her baby. So guys, at this point, Malini is pregnant, I think, for Aditya. That is what they are saying. Wednesday's episode, 11th January, Malini pretends to fall ill and claims that Imlie did not remind her to take her tablet, but the latter gives her the test of her own medicine. Anu is humiliated by Mitty. Malini learns that Imlie is planning to do an internship for Aditya's newspaper and plans to stop her at any cost. Later, Anu ploys to frame Mitty. Anu should leave Mitty alone. Mitty not send you. She's not even looking at you. You just the one obviously bothering yourself with Mitty. Mitty doesn't care. Thursday's episode, 12th January. While Malini tears Imlie's internship home, Imlie is ready to fight back. Later, Aditya grants Imlie the internship offer at the dining table. As the Tripatis are busy, Imlie takes on the responsibility to slowly conduct the event at Dushara. Elsewhere, Malini ploy against Imlie backfires. Friday's episode, 13th January. On the occasion of Navitri, Imlie learns that one of the idols she had brought for a special ritual is missing. Meanwhile, Malini sneaks out the idol. Imlie sees Malini give away the missing idol to someone but chooses not to tell the family. Later, Aditya gets up a tip about a smuggling case and pursues it. Saturday's episode 14 January, Pasa and the MLA are alerted of Aditya's presence, but the latter manages to escape with the evidence. He asks Imlie about keeping the evidence safe. The Durga Puja is just about to begin when Malini starts a fire to ruin the preparation. So while Rupali passes out, Pranav comes to her rescue. Sunday's episode 15 January, Pranav deceives the Tripathi to get the evidence against the MLA from Aditya to succeed in his plan. He begs for another chance with Rupali. Imlie gets suspicious when she sees Pranav sneaking around in the house. She devises a plan to figure out his true intention. Monday's episode 16 January, as Imlie rehearses for the puja, Aditya gets a call from his editor. Later, Imlie acts upon her mother's advice and tells Pranav to shoot Rupali. Malini convinces Rupali that Imlie is trying to instigate her against Pranav. Later, Imlie finds out that the proof is missing and accuses Pranav of stealing it. Tuesday's episode 17 January, Pranav creates a distraction to escape and plants drug in Aditya's room to get him arrested. Imlie doesn't let Pranav run away. Aditya controls himself after Imlie informs him about the theft by Pranav. So, as the latter plans to escape with the pen drive he caught by the police. Wednesday's episode 18 January, Rupali catches Pranav looking for the pen drive. So while Imlie exposes the real reason behind the visit, later Aditya is released by the police as they arrested Pranav instead. The Tripathis plan a big surprise welcome party for Imlie as their daughter-in-law and shows their acceptance towards her. Meanwhile, Malini is devastated about this. Thursday's episode 19 January. Anu plants rat in the emergency pettiness. See joblessness, planting of rat. A whole woman like that plants rat in the Tripathi house and ruins their surprise for Imlie. As the Tripathis get upset, Imlie comes for their head and saves the day. Anu attempts to hit Aditya with the dandiya, but Imlie steps in. Malini hinders Imlie's housewarming ceremony as she desires to contribute for her rituals. Friday's episode 30th of January, Malini changes her taxes to get Aditya back from Imlie. However, to prove his love for Imlie, Aditya decides to divorce Malini in the occasion of Kavacho. Imlie learns that Malini cunning plans to reclaim Aditya's love. Later, Imlie exposes Malini's mehendi and Aditya's name on it. Saturday's episode 21st January, Imlie humiliates Malini for having Aditya's name printed on her hand and asks Aditya to make her leave the house. Later, Aditya and Imlie get into an argument and Aditya plans to make Imlie first Kavacho, a memorable one, but goes missing during the rituals. Later, Aditya brings Malini back home, that is after divorcing. This guy is just confused. Sunday's episode 22nd January, Malini makes Imlie look suspicious when her baby's stolen bangles are seen with Miti. While Satyakam decides to surrender, Aditya considers getting him arrested. When Miti brings Satyakam to Aditya's house, Malini creates a distraction and vanishes with Satyakam. Later, Aditya assumes Satyakam has adopted Malini. Monday's episode 23rd January, Malini tells Satyakam how she sets him up, but Imlie records their conversation. She shoots herself to frame Imlie. Malini tells Aditya that Satyakam took the blame to save Imlie. When the Tripathis show their faith in Imlie, Aditya questions her about the incident. Tuesday's episode 24th January, after being hurt, Imlie cuts ties with the family and walks out of the house. However, the Tripathis try to search for her to stop her from leaving. While Aparna tells Aditya that he is responsible for Imlie leaving the house, Malini claims that she overreacted. Imlie meets with an accident. Wednesday's episode 25th January, Aditya tracks down Imlie to an underground fighting ring where she saves an innocent from getting arrested. Later, she refuses to return home with Aditya. Imlie starts a new life to complete independence and enroll herself in a woman hostel. Later, Rupali overhears Malini's conversation with Anu. Thursday's episode 26 January, Aditya arrives at the temple and remembers Imlie. Imlie rescues Apita from the fire and takes her to the hospital. Aryan encounters Imlie once more and accuses her of stealing. Apita requests that Aryan apologizes to Imlie and assists her. Friday's episode 27 January, Imlie recognizes Aryan's car and takes revenge by ruining it with muddy waters. So Aryan have entered the series at this point. Anyways, Aryan helps Imlie with her internship. As a punishment, Aryan commands Imlie to clean his car Aditya is shocked to learn that Aryan is now the new CEO of Basket Time. Saturday's episode 38th January, Imlie faints when trying to clean the car and falls inside. Unknown to Aryan, at Apita's request, Aryan carries the unconscious Imlie inside the hospital. Aryan ignores his mother and Apita when they ask him to apologize to Imlie. So while Aditya berates the warden for trying to defame Imlie, Anu blames Apana. And also guys, for 29 January, Apita urges Aryan to stop living in the past. Imlie remembers Aryan's warning and rushes to work. Aryan punishes Imlie for trying to joke with him. Despite being penalized, Imlie attends the orientation meeting. Later, Aryan reprimands her for submitting an assignment without his approval. Monday's episode 30th January, Aryan assigns Imlie a tough report with a short deadline. Aditya mentors Imlie and she trusts her intuition and enjoys and interviews a female tea vendor. Imlie is overjoyed when her first article is published in a newspaper. Malini, on the other hand, tries to swear Aditya against Imlie. Tuesday's episode 31st January, Aryan and Imlie bumps into each other in the temple and his mother gives her a ride. Later, Aditya tells Imlie that her article shouldn't be on the front page. Malini pays the hostel warden to throw Imlie out of the hostel. While Imlie finds shelter in the office, the Tripatis plans a surprise for her. Thanks for watching up to this point, guys. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time, another video, and bye guys.